DuckTalks is part of Res TV's network of podcasts. Check out res.tv for other great podcasts.
Each room of the bin has its own unique traps designed by Duckburg's most dementedly dangerous minds. Gyro, Quackfaster.
Is it weird that the most dementedly dangerous minds are all friends of ours?
I'll set the system to test mode. You two will try to beat each of my defenses, and if you make it outside without being driven to the brink of madness, I'll buy lunch.
He really does not expect us to make it.
Behold, the Impossi-Bin!
Impossi-Bin, now in test mode.
Well, that sounds ominous.
It's the week of Tuesday, October 27th, and you're listening to episode 115 of DuckTalks. Yeah, this is how this podcast episode is starting. Episode 115 of DuckTalks. Pirate Josh grooving while I just try to come up with what to say because I realize I'm on camera for the first time. This is something new for us. We're going to talk about that in just a moment and explain what may or may not be happening. Right? That's how we roll. This is DuckTalks. We are a DuckTales and Disney Afternooniverse fan podcast. And we're here to review the latest episode of DuckTales, The Escape from the Impossi-Bin. I don't have it in the notes. I think that's the title. I just realized it's not in the notes. So we've got a new venture for us. No, man, I already messed it up. Oh, man.
It's supposed to be one take, remember?
It is one take. It's staying in there. It has to. We're not editing this.
The next day.
I don't know about
We'll do a later clip than this. We'll do a later clip.
We'll do it later. We'll fix it in the post. So yeah, if this is your first time listening, thank you for checking us out. We hope you enjoy the podcast and come back and listen to us for many, many episodes to come. And if you are a returning listener, thank you for checking out the podcast and hanging around and supporting us and interacting with us online and all the craziness that we have had over the last few weeks. We want to thank you. So this is something a little bit different. Well, we are on camera. We normally record our audio podcast without cameras, but we thought we might try to change things up. We thought we've got this YouTube channel, and YouTube prefers the shorter clips. Most people like to watch something that's about 5 to 15 minutes. Maybe 15 minutes is even pushing it. So an hour-long podcast, most people who are checking that out probably are just listening to the podcast, not watching the clip. So we thought we would maybe try to make some clips. I don't know. Maybe this introduction will be on there. Maybe not. Maybe we get rid of it. We're trying to work through everything. But my name's Mitch. I'm one of your hosts. Joining me this week, I have Pirate Steven and Josh.
Ahoy there, I'm Pirate Steven.
Hey guys, what's happening?
That's Josh.
That's Josh.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me.
So on your all's video, does it have your names on there?
I think it does. Oh shoot, I don't know.
Oh, it does on my end. I don't know if it does on
Next
yours.
episode.
We'll work on that. We've got some ideas of some things we want to try. We're going to get there. But for this episode, let's get started with some news and take a look at some things going on with the show. And I'm looking at the notes, but they're actually on the computer screen, which is not normal for me because I'm normally using my phone. This is just going to be an episode of me making excuses for why it feels weird.
First on the list. So the first thing we have on the list was a bit of a surprise, and that was the DuckTales wrapping paper. That's what we're talking about. That's going to be the conversation for the next few minutes. Guys, let's tell our wrapping paper stories because that's going to have everyone on the edge of their seats.
I mean, we've been talking about the need, the want for DuckTales wrapping paper for years now. I mean, what's next? Are we going to finally get the DuckTales Valentine's Day cards we were talking about.
3 years. We've waited on that for cool. 3 years.
Yeah, actually, so Eric Rovtar messaged me and said, "Hey, check out Instagram because my friend Dan, the Pixar fan, posted his. He went to Five Below, and I guess everybody's putting out Christmas stuff out. Like Halloween's not like next week, but so Christmas stuff is out there, and we got DuckTales wrapping paper. How cool is this?" And I don't know if you can see it or not, but Five Below is a store, and I guess it's just in the United States. I'm not sure elsewhere. But this is plaid wrapping paper, and it's cool because it's not just the boys and Scrooge, which you see on most merch. This has Webby on it and Beakley. I think this is the first time we've ever really had Beakley on great merch. Like it's wrapping paper, but and we got Glomgold and we got Launchpad. Like all the faves are on there. So how cool is that? $2 at Five Below. I bought two rolls of it. I was tempted to buy them all, but I'm not gonna hoard the wrapping paper for all the DuckTales fans. If you want to go get it, it's at Five Below. Maybe at other stores when they push out all their Christmas decoration stuff, like Target, who knows, Walmart. But we'll let you know if we see it there. But people were really excited about the wrapping paper. There's a lot more excitement for the wrapping paper than that pin that I posted about the other day.
People were all over the wrapping paper online. We were getting messages like crazy. I happened to be out, so I made a detour and went to a Five Below, and they had some. The wrapping paper had already been picked through pretty good, and a lot of the rolls were damaged. So I actually had to do the most nerdy thing of going through and checking the ends to see which one was the worst, and to get me some premium DuckTales wrapping paper. But I have a roll.
So how much of a roll does it look? Because sometimes you buy a roll and then like lasts you like 2 presents.
It's like $2.
It's 40 square feet.
Okay.
So I mean, it looks like it has a couple of wraparounds of this roll. So I mean, it's $2, so you might as well buy as much as you need.
Yeah.
I showed it to my wife, and she's like, "So which kid's getting that wrapper?" I was like, "That's my
mine.
present."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You think you're getting presents?" I go, "I already paid for the PS5, so I know I'm getting something."
Now, is that going to be a gift, or is that going to be an early gift?
No, it's a gift. I have to wrap it and put it under the tree. But yeah, it's true. It'll be there.
It'll be there. So you can check that out. Five Below. You'll have to look it up, see if you have one in your area. I have multiples. I only went to one. Got me some wrapping paper. Also, on the notes for this week, we have Fantagraphics Volume 13, Mickey Mouse, The Sunken City. That's all I got. I got a title, Pirate. What's going on?
So you got, well, I got more because I actually read it. And we're at this period where there's a new Fantagraphics awesome volume coming out every week until, I think, November 17th. So last week was Disney Masters Volume 12, which is a Donald Duck Forgotten Hero volume, and this one is Mickey Mouse themed Sunken Treasure, because they usually go Mickey, Donald, Mickey, Uncle Scrooge, or whatnot, but we're going Mouse Duck for now. And we're starting to notice that sometimes they throw in Duck comics inside the Mickey volumes as well. So we wanted to make sure we're doing full coverage of our friends Fantagraphics awesome volumes. And this one's kind of cool history-wise, because if 1953 is when Mickey Mouse animated shorts stopped, and then 1955 is when they stopped doing the Mickey Mouse comic strip. And that was a big period for Mickey Mouse, because in 1955 is also when the Mickey Mouse Club started. And so that's a big boom for Mickey Mouse. And there's no content because there's no new animated shorts, and there's no comic strips. So where are you going to get your original Mickey Mouse content? Because usually the Mickey Mouse Club, they would reissue the old shorts. So this volume's comics came out in 1957. So you get to see what Mickey Mouse content was coming out during his golden age of the Mickey Mouse Club. So I thought that was really cool history type lesson with this Fantagraphics book. I thought it was a good read.
Now, on these releases, I've read them kind of sporadically, and can you do that? Do you feel like these are, should someone start off with the earlier volume and read through, or if they were to pick up with volume 13, would it just seem natural?
You can start wherever you want, because with the Disney Masters, they just pick a particular artist or writer to feature for that volume. So you're just getting all stories from a different writer or illustrator per different volume. So if you go through 1 to 13, you're not getting anything different than if you started 13 and went down to 1.
Awesome. And as usual, we will include a link to your review for this volume, and I'm sure there'll be a link where people can follow it to Amazon and use our affiliate link to order their own, which we appreciate. I don't think we've said it in a while, but those affiliate links help because it helps us pay for the website each year, and it helps us purchase some of the stuff that we review. And if we're going to get into video, it's probably going to help us purchase a few things for that. So those affiliate links help us do more, and so check that out. Speaking of Amazon, I guess this is on pre-order for Amazon, but the next thing on our list is the Mouse Watch. I think we've tweeted about this. We've not blogged about this yet, but we did reach out to Disney Publishing, Disney Hyperion. Yes, Hyperion, since I'm on camera. We did reach out to them and ask them about this book. I'm going to try to get it in the screen, and it's not going to. It's just completely not there. Oh, yours is there.
There you go.
What's going on? Anyway, Pirate's got his copy. Now, this may not be the cover. It does say that. This was an uncorrected advanced proof that we were sent to read. I am about halfway through, but I believe Pirate finished it up yesterday. Is that correct?
I did finish it up yesterday. I got the review ready. It's going to be on the site, I believe, tomorrow. But the cool thing about this book, Mouse Watch, which is that it's in the Disney Afternooniverse. So the story takes place in the Rescue Rangers world. So I've always envied the Star Wars franchises because, they have their movies, but they also have the video games, and they have the comics and the books, and all that really expands on what you love from the movies. So it's cool that, they might not make a series of the Mouse Watch or movies or whatever, but this expands on the Rescue Rangers lore. So it was a really good read. It's a middle school type book. It's ages 9 to 12 is the recommended for it. But it really took me 2.5-3 days to read through it. It's 256 pages. And I just thought I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good, even if it didn't have all the Disney Afternoon references in it, because it talks about Gadget Hack-Wrench, who is the director of this Mouse Watch, which is kind of a spin-off of the Rescue Rangers. And she's not directly in this book the whole time, but she does get mentioned a lot. And then Chip and Dale gets a couple of mentions, and it just was a fun book. I like that it's contained in the same universe.
Yeah, my wife was talking to me about it the other day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we're pre-reading some of it," and she's like, "Oh, I want to read it now." So there's a lot of people that are excited about it, so it's kind of cool.
It's definitely worth a pickup. Now, the author is J.J. Gilbert, and we hope to eventually have them on the podcast to talk about the book. I'm going to finish it up this week, and then we might do a Pirates Got the Review coming out on the site, and then we'll be ready to have that interview hopefully coming up. We've already spoken with them with Disney Publishing about having them on, so hopefully that happens sometime soon and we can talk about the book. It's released, is it next week, Pirate?
Yeah, Tuesday, November 3rd, Election Day. You can go vote, and then you can go read the Mouse Watch.
There you go. And
it's also the same day that the Fantagraphics book comes out. So a lot of the books that were and this book was delayed because it was supposed to come out in May. And it seems like a lot of the books that came out late spring or summer, they really held them. And because of COVID, probably they just got pushed back to the fall. And that's why all these books are coming out now, which are really good pickups for Christmas presents or yourself. Like, I'd probably wrap them in DuckTales wrapping paper and put them under a tree. But like I said, it's really good. And the second book in this, it's going to be a series, and the second book is already greenlit, and that'll be out in May. It's going to be the Mouse Watch Underwater. So they'll do some kind of underwater adventuring. And really, you have to really read into what is in the book. But there's a couple other references that I caught. Like they mentioned a great mouse detective reference in there as well, because they talked about the evil organization that they're against is the Rats, and it stands for something I don't have in my notes in front of me. But they talk about they foiled a plan from Buckingham Palace, which is
cool.
Ratigan. And then they also talk about the Mouse Watch they saved a lost kid, and they protected a condor and its hatchlings, which would be rescuers and rescuers down under with the Rescue Aid Society. So not just Rescue Rangers world, but all the mouse world seems to be linked in with this book, which is really cool.
Yeah, I believe it was Frank who at one point pitched that as a series. Sounds like it was already in the works.
And I could see this become a Disney Plus. I know with the Rescue Rangers live action movie that are coming out and the Chippendale animated shorts, it seems like they're doing a lot of that right now. So they might not make a Mouse Watch series, but with more Disney Plus content being requested, you never know. This could be one of their next big series.
An item in our notes that really just came up within the last few hours. Someone tweeted at us. I don't have it in the notes who it was, but they let us know that Della had been added to Disney All-Star Racers. And if you're like me, you might have said, wait a minute, what is Disney All-Star Racers? Until you realized it's on the Disney Now app. The Disney Now app does have a number of games based off of the Disney properties on the cable channels, and this kart racer is one of them. I know that Pirate was playing it as we were trying to get the audio video set up for our podcast episode. I am still unable to use Disney Now, so I can't tell you how it is. I tried it early on, though. Like, when this game came out, I feel like it's been a while, and it came out, and I tried it while on my break at work out walking, and thought it was pretty cool because it had Webby and Scrooge, and seems like some other characters from the show that were in it. But you've been playing it today, Pirate. What do you think?
Me, I'm not really into mobile gaming unless it's Disney Emoji Blitz, but I love kart racing games. One of my favorite games of all time is the Disney Magical Racing Quest game, which was a Disney World, Disneyland kart race where Chip and Dale from Rescue Rangers were also in it. But you raced in they had a Haunted Mansion, a Splash Mountain course. All the courses were based on attractions, and also the ride vehicles were your kart racers. Awesome game. It was on PlayStation, Sega Dreamcast, and Game Boy Advance. And this one is just on Disney Now, which is kind of a bummer because that app is not my favorite app. It doesn't work for a lot of people. But I updated my app today just to see what is going on with this game. And the courses for the DuckTales ones are really, really well detailed. I really wish this was a console so I could play on the big screen. It's fun as you play in your hands, but yeah, it would be a really cool console game. And like Mitch was saying, Della was added today. We have Launchpad, Huey, Dewey, Louie, Webby, and Scrooge in the game already, and they can always add more players. They added the Owl House characters as well as Amphibia today, and Owl House and Amphibia racetracks as well. So really cool that they're doing this, but I wish more people would get to play it if it wasn't on Disney.
So these are games that kind of come and go, right? They put some content on the Disney Now app, and then after so long they they replace it with other stuff, right? It's not something that's always on there.
This one seems to have been there.
Yeah.
But you're right. I feel like they have the same games, but they update them per holiday. Like right now, there's a lot of Halloween type games in there. Probably were Christmas last year or summer a few months ago. So.
And they're not games that you download. You play them from their servers. I know I had an update that I needed to do, and I did the update, but the game still wouldn't load. But I still can't watch episodes of shows on Disney Now right now, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. I've been in contact with them. They don't have answers for me. I did want to say we wanted to shout out to Benny Botros, who sent us that tweet letting us know that Della had been added.
Yeah, and Pixie Spheres, who we had on the podcast a couple episodes ago, plays this game a lot, and she's already got Della and showed the different customizations.
Oh yeah,
on her, and it's cool. She's in the Spear Celine is her ride vehicle, and as you customize it, you can put an Oxy Chew sticker on it, and all these DuckTales references go on it. So it's like, this is a really cool game that I wish was on console so that more people could play it. This is how DuckTales is the best kept secret on Disney XD. This game now is the best kept secret on Disney Now app. So you should play it. If the Disney Now app works for you, definitely go to the game section, and it's called Disney's All-Star Racers, and check it out. Dewey and Webby are unlocked already as part of the starters, as well as a bunch of other Disney characters, and check it out. Let us know what you think of it and who your favorite racer is.
Some news around the show, other than mobile gaming, is we did receive a image for the split sword of Swanstantine. This is the November 2nd episode of DuckTales that will air on Disney XD. It will be released on Disney XD at 7 p.m., but of course, it's typically released much, much earlier than that over on the Disney Now app. But we did get an image, and it shows who's going to be in the episode, at least some of the characters. That's been one of the questions, because the description for the episode says the kids pair off to find the missing pieces of a mystical sword hidden throughout a marketplace unless Fowl gets to them first. And we've been wondering, is this just going to be the triplets? Is it triplets and Webby? Will it include Lena and Violet and other characters? I've seen some people wondering if Boyd would be included. We still don't know, but we don't know if Boyd's included or not, but we do know that the episode will include the triplets as well as Webby and Lena and Violet. They are in the only released image for the episode.
And Lena wasn't in her sorceress outfit, so that's something else. Some people have noticed that it actually looks like she's wearing pajamas, like she got caught out of bed and dragged out of bed and wearing pajamas.
Yeah, her top is different, or she normally has that like sweater that's got like the stripes. She doesn't have that on right now, but you're right, it could be she got dragged out of bed.
Yeah, I saw some comparison for Violet as well on Twitter, and some people were talking about how in what episode was the sleepover with the dream? Friendship Hates Magic. In that episode, she wore this at the sleepover, so it does look like both of them are in pajamas. And then the background that we're seeing, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on in the background, but it's not a set or a location that looks familiar.
The other thing we know about this one is that Steelbeak and Rocker Duck are supposed to be in this episode, but Sam King also mentioned that Gandra D is in this episode as well as Black Heron. So there's more Fowl characters that are going to be on there, which makes me want to have a Foul Tales episode. We got Glom Tales. I feel like Foul Tales would be, just from their perspective, would be a fun show.
Yeah, and we are at the cusp of jumping into the discussion around this week's episode. But at the end of this week's episode, the stakes are raised, and we know that Fowl is making their move. And, November 2nd's episode definitely looks like that momentum is going to continue with that many Fowl agents showing up. I think that's all the news we've got, guys. Let's jump into the review, and we'll start off with our 30-second recap. I'm feeling really bad about this one because I have not prepared. Oh. And yes, it was at this point in the call that I was dropped from Skype, logged out, and had to try to log back in. When I came back, I checked the audio, and it was clear that we were still recording. I could see the audio wavelength, and I thought all was good. So we just kept talking, and we kept going, and we finished the episode. It wasn't until Saturday morning when I sat down to try and finish the edit that I realized that about 3/4 through the podcast episode, all of the audio was gone. Thankfully, this was our first attempt at a video podcast, at least doing clips of part of our podcast. And so I reached out to Josh. He wasn't home, but later in the day, he was able, on Halloween, he was able to get me the audio. Due to my Halloween plans, I wasn't able to get to it just yet. And of course, this episode's going to be a little later than normal, but we were able to get audio. It's not maybe as great as what we would normally put out, but it's here. You can hear the rest of the conversation. Some of it may be cut out just due to some of the sounds, but here is what is left of the end of episode 115.
He has returned.
Oh, man. Hey,
returned.
while you were gone, we did the randomizer. It was 1.
Oh, too bad I picked 3.
No, we have to do recall. You have to be online. Let me do it.
All right, let me make sure we're still recording. I don't know what happened. It just dropped me, but not only it dropped me and said I could rejoin. And when I clicked rejoin, it completely restarted Skype and logged me out. And so all of my saved information apparently went to another account that I don't remember ever creating. Yeah. So I then because I was like, okay, I'm on. Can you send me the invite? And you were like, I've sent you the invite and you're not on or unavailable. So anyway, I'm back now. We'll try that again. Man, I keep hitting this mic, and I know I'm going to regret that when I have to edit this. All right. Randomizer. Here we go. And that brings us to the review and recap of the episode of DuckTales that aired this week, The Escape from the Impossi-Bin. The randomizer is up. I've got 1 through 3. We going with our normal numbers?
Yes. Go.
Yeah.
Josh is 2, Pirates 3, and I'm 1.
I got scared that they got 2 again. Those are the last 2 times.
No, it's 3.
Oh, no.
It is 3.
All right. I don't even know what I'm going to say.
Oh, I had no idea. I was not prepared, so super happy with that outcome. You know, I really don't like the show being on Mondays and then me not getting an opportunity to watch them till Tuesday, and then us trying to record on Tuesday because I could have watched it 8 times and felt like I wasn't ready just because it's still marinating up in here.
All right. I'm
Trying to buy you time.
I don't need time. I got this. Can I go
All right,
anytime?
go. You just
All right.
go.
So Scrooge has Quackfaster and Gyro make the Impossi-Bin, which is a punishing trap for any foul people that try to get in there. So she wants Louie and Della to test it. We get a lot of good Della time, which is something we've been missing in a lot of episodes. And then the boys are going to be trained by Webby. Webby wants to kill them. And Beakley acts super weird. She just needs to chill out. And at the end, Darkwing Duck's in it, and that's really cool when he fights Steelbeak, but we don't get to see it on camera. And we'll see more of them later. Bye.
I think 30 seconds is too easy for us now.
That was pretty good. That was good.
I think I missed some stuff.
Just a little.
Beakley got chill out.
What was going on with Beakley?
She went all like agent on them. Like she's like back in service kind of a thing.
I was telling my kids, I was like, watch that. That's Black Heron right there. Not really Beakley, Black Heron.
You think they were going to do
been replaced?
The Mission Impossible?
I thought she was, but I don't think she is now. But at the time, I was like, why is she being so mean?
Yeah, she could have been like the Mission Impossible where they just pulled off the mask and that would have been cool.
And this was Ben's first episode where he got to really write. That was good. That was good for him because this was a solid one. Like I said in my 30-second recap, it was cool that we got more Della because people have been thirsting for more Della since she's come back from the moon.
Yeah, she was in a lot of episodes, it feels like, in season 2. Probably not as many as it feels because, I mean, right, that was her whole storyline. But this season does seem like we've had a lot less Della. But I did like seeing Ben talk about this being the first episode that he got to write and what he, how he enjoyed the episode because of all the action and everything going on. It was a fun episode. It was, it definitely felt like a return to normal from the last episode, the double-sized Let's Get Dangerous. It did feel like we kind of got everybody back in the story all at once, and I think it worked. We already brought up Beakley. I feel like there's a real story going on there with the character, and I really hope we get more of it because, I mean, when we think back to her character and how she was introduced in the series, and then we look at how we had the episode with the mermaids, there was that hint that she might not be telling the truth completely. So there was something going on there that we don't know about. And then now we've got her really freaking out about Fowl showing up and being afraid that everyone's not ready for them. So I found it very odd. I mean, I think everybody was supposed to find it odd, the way she was acting, and she just completely snaps and puts everybody through boot camp.
I think there's going to be something there that directs to Webby, and it might be that she's trying to protect for whatever had happened that caused Webby to kind of be in her care. I feel like she's reacting that way because last time something happened with Val, they weren't prepared, and she wants them to be prepared this time. So she doesn't. I don't know if she lost somebody. We don't really know what happens, but I kind of got the sense that she's doing it to make sure no one gets hurt in any way when they do actually come after Scrooge and his Ben and the family.
Yeah, I think it has to be something tragic like that because when we went back to the case files of Agent 22, she was very confident and ready to run in and face Fowl. But then when we get the second part of the story where we had Webby and Scrooge coming to save her, she was much more reluctant and worried about the fact that Scrooge brought her granddaughter. So I think she's really having a hard time dealing with just Fowl's return. She didn't seem like this with Shadow War, though, or with the Moonlanders. So I thought it was very odd. But the fight scenes with Beakley and Webby were really good. I mean, they were done really well with the animation.
I love when Webby impersonates Dewey. I thought that was a really funny scene.
Mm-hmm. Did anyone get any vibes from, you know how like the DuckTales movie when they had to break into the bin and they had to go down that hallway and do all these like, they had to get through all these traps and stuff. I kind of got that vibe in this episode because they had that hallway with the razors and stuff going on and they had to break in. But I kind of got that vibe. The purple sauce. I kind of got that vibe in this episode where they were trying to break in and having to go past all these traps and stuff. I don't know if it was inspired by that movie at all, but it reminded me of that.
Yeah, and there's a whole section to the mansion that the kids didn't know about.
Well, Webby and Lena knew about it.
What was that? The other bin?
It looked like it from the stairwell.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally missed that. I'll have to watch that. I'll have to look for that next time.
Yeah. And then the gravity was a reference to Don Rosa's story, where
really great,
really throws off throws off Scrooge and Donald's gravity.
Yeah, I like the way they did it in this episode because, I mean, you didn't have Magica to work with, so you had to do it another way. But Scrooge had used it to, actually, I guess this was Quackfaster's idea, that it was in the library with the bot. They were kind of intertwined to keep everyone out, or I guess you're trying to keep everyone out at that point. It almost seemed like they were trying to keep everyone in with the way that all those traps and everything worked. But yeah, it was a cool nod to it, and I liked how it worked in the episode. It definitely worked in the same way. Also, this was the Rows of Runes that we had heard about previously. I think Frank had talked about it on Tumblr, and we had wondered if it was going to be connected to Castle McDuck, but no, it is actually part of the security system at the bin.
Did you guys notice that when they were doing the gravity and then they had like they sent the books up, each one of the books was about gravity?
Yeah.
So like for one of them said, like I got screenshots. One says gravity keeping you down since the dawn of time, and another one was called Rainbow's Gravity by Thomas Finchen. Another one's Falling Up, a history of falling down, and then another one's Falling for You, a series of love poems by Sir Isaac Newton.
Yeah, it was kind of fun little nod.
Yeah,
for sure. And then, of course, we had that monster robot, which when it first came out, I mean, you had to be disappointed when that robot first came out. And it was like a corny-looking Scrooge. But then when it transformed and we had something much more menacing, it kind of felt like we were back at the Great Dime Chase.
Yeah, it's very... The whole episode had a bunch of different video game-type elements. And we also got Scrooge doing his pogo stick move from DuckTales.
Which is back.
Everybody's pointing and cheering when they see that happen. He's done it a couple of times. He did it in the Christmas episode, and I believe he did it in Moonvasion. So it's at least his third pogo stick move. But I thought that every time I see that, I'm like, yeah, I know that.
I like those references.
Good times. Yes. So and then the cool reveal is, so we see Bradford just kind of controlling it, and then Gandra D just pops in. And we haven't seen her really since the Moonvasion finale, where we find out she is in foul. And we will see her next week, like we mentioned before. But then it's kind of, we find out that this was all a trap for Scrooge, just to draw their attention as a diversion, so that all of Fowl can go and steal all the stuff we've seen in previous episodes this season.
Yeah, and I put in our notes the blog that we did about the lost treasures of Isabella Finch, so that we could kind of look at that for a moment, because the end of this episode, when you find out that all of this was just to keep them busy, and Fowl has managed to steal everything that had been found before, which we commented on the fact that they were finding it and just leaving it, and that seemed like a bad idea. But we had a number of items that were included. We've not seen the Stone of What Was, which I'm not so sure will be connected to the to Castle McDuck, but it might be. But we have seen the Fountain of Youth and the Lost Harp of Nirvana. Those are now in Fowl's hands. So we've got the Stone of What Was, the Lost Harp, the Third Eye, and the Fountain of Youth. Fowl's got 3 of those 4. And there were others on other pages as well. We've learned that the pages that we had previously seen in the episodes are not the only ones. But looking at the episodes coming up, and I thought I had that in the notes, but I'm not seeing it. But in the episodes coming up in November, that's probably what shows. It shows loading on the notes. The episodes coming up, we know that there is a split sword of Swanstantine. I think that's going to be one of them. We know they are going to Castle McDuck for some artifact. And then the other 2 episodes, I don't think the Christmas episode is going to be connected, because Frank has said both the Halloween episode and the Christmas episode would be standalones. So that shouldn't be connected. And there's a 4th episode. I can't think of which one it is, but it did. Oh, it's the New Gods on the Block. Oh, that's right. So there's actually 5. So you've got the New Gods on the Block, which is going to be the kids trying to take over Zeus's place, and that doesn't sound like that's going to have a lot to do with this, unless that's a scheme to maybe get something that is at Ithaquac. I guess it's a possibility. And then you're right, we've got the other one. What was it again?
The First Adventure.
The First Adventure. And I think that's going to be more of just a flashback explaining some backstory of Bradford. I think that's going to give us some insight into that character. Which, Pirate, your conversation last week, I know people in our Discord have been talking about that. I brought it up to them and was like, hey, you guys have to check this out because I can't stop thinking about this ever since you brought it up. But if Solego ends up being a player, it could still just be a reference, a one-time reference. Ends up being a player in the whole thing.
That's one of the artifacts you didn't mention was Darkwing Duck, who was so surprised to see in this episode. I loved it.
Yeah.
And he gets beaten up by Steelbeak, and Steelbeak steals the Solego crystals as part of one of the artifacts. So now
the key.
Fowl has that.
Yeah, and man, I hate that was off camera. First battle between these two.
Who knows? They could do flashbacks or something.
Yeah.
For a Darkwing Duck series, that would be great.
Yeah, or it could be like Scrooge McDuck doesn't recognize Darkwing after seeing him so many times.
That could play out. Now, it looked like Darkwing had really tussled with someone. He was all bandaged up and had his compact out checking his face to see how rough it was. I guess Drake's not going to be walking around much in the next few days. But
be dumb or something.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of setup here for the end of the season. So we've got the November episodes coming up, and then after that, we're going to have a few more episodes for season 4. We're still assuming those aren't coming this year. I don't think we'll see the end of the season in 2020. It'll most likely be sometime in 2021. But there's a lot coming together. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. I like Gene the Genie having an appearance and having the Phantom Blot steal him as part of his magic plot to get rid of all magic. I thought that was really cool to have the Phantom Blot show up after his last appearance was awesome. And we know he'll be in a future episode, the Castle McDuck one. So looking forward to that one. And it seems like I said this on Twitter and a lot of people agreed. How much I'm so glad we were getting November episodes. Because could you imagine that was a cliffhanger and you're not getting episodes for 6 to 8 months?
Yeah.
The Scrooge is ready. Scrooge and company are ready to go head to head with Fowl and race them to everything. Oh, hiatus.
So glad that's not happening.
Yeah. I just want to. Scrooge is going to obviously need the hero of Earth's help with this. I think Glomgold's going to need to help him defeat Bradford at some point.
I'm sure he can figure it out with a scheme. So next week is the Split Sword of Swanstantine. We'll be talking about that, and gosh, it's crazy that we've got 2 months in a row of new episodes. Just absolutely crazy. Check us out over at DuckTalks.com. Check out our blogs. We've got a review coming up for Mouse Watch and Fantagraphics Volume 13, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then the following week it'll be 14.
Yeah, so
and a Carl Bark volume. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on. Also, check us out over on Twitter at DuckTalks. You can also find us individually over on Twitter. I am at Infinirama616.
And I'm at The Pirate Steven.
I'm at CC Runner 524.
And with that, I think that's going to be it. So until next time.
Stay dangerous.
If you can dream it, you can do it.
DuckTalks is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds or audio clips played on this podcast are the property of their copyright holders.